Welcome back to another episode of Unbound Being. This section that I'm talking about is There's No Such Thing. I have part 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, you could go over here to these two links and check out part 1 first and part 2. What I'm talking about is how religions are not the truth. How if you call yourself a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, or any of those terms, Jahova, you name it, Hindu, they are not the truth. They are symbols, they are words, they are sounds that have been given to a certain parameter of what you would call, a section and a description of people that do certain things belong in a certain pocket, in a certain category, in a certain section, and that excludes the others, right? It's a scientific type of wording, a scientific type of categorizing, and that's not true. We are the entire universe. You are the entire universe. Now, if you haven't had the experience of being the entire universe, then a good thing would be to start applying some of the techniques that a lot of different people teach, which is meditation, but really doing it, being it, doing the meditation, which means generally stopping thought. All generation or meditation is a way of stopping thought. And unless you stop thought and have the direct experience of being now, being the universe, then you can only have somebody else's story of how to be the universe or how the universe is. Because some of the masters that lived, even if they ever did, Jesus and Krishna and Allah and Buddha and whatever the people are that have experienced directly within themselves the connection with the universe, those people have come back and they try to explain in words. And then most of those words were written down, what it was and what they did and what they experienced when they were one, when they experienced one with the universe. And many masters experience that all the time because they've gone through a certain level where they are continuously in that state of being connected with life, with the universe, with the cosmos, with whatever you want to call it. Some call it Allah and Buddha and whatever you want to call it, right? The Buddhic state and the nirvana and whatever you have, all these words that are not the thing. The thing is the experience. And one of the examples I would like to give to show you the ridiculousness of calling yourself anything is this. Let's say you would have an identical twin or triplet or even quadruplet, whatever they call that, right? Let's say you have a single-celled quadruplet, 4 children that are born and are identical children, right? Identical babies from the genetic, same cell. And you would take one baby and you would put it into a Muslim family in an Arabic country where 90% around them is Muslim. You take another baby and put them in a Christian family, a really Christian family in a town somewhere in the United States where 90% of the people are Christian and are raised Christian and everything is Christian. Then you would take one and put him in a Jewish family, or you could even put one in a Buddhist family or a Hindu family. Let's say you have one child in a Muslim, one child in a Christian, one child in a Hindu, and one child in a Buddhist family. And you raise that child in people who are indoctrinated by themselves and by their family and by their society with these ideas of what is Muslim, Christian, Hindu, and Buddhist. So you got 4 children from the same genetic material, from the same parents, and you split them up and put them in different families. And when they're raised, when they're 18 years old, you put them together. And without even knowing that they're brothers, let's say brothers, and you'd put them together, you'd have 4 people who believe in 4 different things. And unless they're intelligent, because that's usually what they're not, but if they were intelligent, they would go beyond that and say, no, that doesn't exist. But most cases, these 4 children will be arguing amongst each other that I am a Muslim, and that's the only way, that's the only God, that's the only truth, and that doesn't exist. And the Christian would do the same. The Christian brother would say, no, you're definitely mistaken here. I am the one that knows how it is because Jesus and God is the only one and the Bible is the only word of God. And then you would have the Hindu and say, hey guys, you guys really misunderstand this whole thing because I am the only one. And then you have the Buddhist that would say the same thing. And the Buddhist being the most pure religion, I think one of the most pure religions on earth, which is, let's say, closest to real direct experience of God, would say, look, we're basically all the same thing, but the Buddhist way is the best way. So it doesn't matter how you take it. People, the 4 brothers, would all be arguing that they know the way and they are the way. And that is the illusion. Can you see the trick? The same genetic material, the same 4, single-celled quadruplets, who, if they would have been raised in the Christian family, they would all be Christian. If they would have been raised in the Hindu, they would all be Hindu. If they would have been raised in the Muslim, they would all be Muslim. If they would have been raised in a Buddhist family, they would all been Buddhist. And now they've been split up and now they're all different things. That shows if you have a certain degree of differentiation and if you can identify and see through certain realities and certain illusions, especially if you can see through some of the fake ideas, then it's immediately clear to you that there is no truth in it. Because being raised with conceptual ideas doesn't make you anything, but they believe they are. So they are willing to identify with Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist. They're willing to identify with something that they're not. The fact that they're willing to identify it doesn't make it real. It only makes the identification with the illusion real. Just like we can identify with the body, right? I'm not the body. Well, I am the body, but I'm also everything else around me. And I am the state of being within, the vibration, the sensation, the well-being in my body, the God feeling, whatever you want to call it, the eternal sense of being connected with the planet, with everything. I am that too. But if I'm only identified with my body, I can say, I am the body. This is me, Roald. Well, that's not true. I am the body, but I'm also everything around me. I'm the camera. I'm you. I'm everything. We are the whole thing all together, playing the different parts. And to identify with one single aspect of it like this, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, whatever, all these things is not real. And you can definitely see it through these examples that I've been giving. So I hope that gives you a more unbound look upon what we're dealing with here. And it counts for everything. It counts for your name. It counts for your country. I'm not Dutch. Just because I have a passport that is called Dutch passport. I'm not Dutch. I'm not Bonarian. I'm not Roald. My name is Roald. My parents gave me that name. It doesn't mean that I am Roald. I am called Roald. My name is Roald. But I am this and this and this. I'm the whole thing, being the parts, playing for a tiny part. It's like God playing all the parts. The Hindus have a beautiful saying about the divine Leela, that God is playing the multiple parts. And many of us have lost the knowledge that you and I and everything is God or life or universe playing all the parts. We get identified with the part. We say, I am this, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm a this, I'm a that, and it doesn't exist. There is no such thing. And the reason we have so much suffering and war and pain and all the stuff that's going on the planet that seems not to be good is because we identify with their thing and there is no such thing. So that's another episode of Unbound Being. I hope you enjoy that and see you next time.